You just want me to go for it?
Just go for it, bro.
Okay, cool. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 98 of the Winging It podcast. We have a very special episode with you today. Just want to say that we got our friend 2-3 Drees with us, who was actually at
What's
the
up?
Super Bowl. What is up, 2-3? How you been, man?
Man, I'm feeling just like y'all, man. We riding this high of being Super Bowl champs right now, man. We had like a heartbreak recently. Well, the past 2 years, he came so close, and then for this to get over the hump, for all the doubters, man. So I know we all feeling the same way. It's amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I want to get into it. I know you were actually at the game today, or a few weeks ago. But yeah, if you are following us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure you drop us a follow. If you're tuning into our YouTube live, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss any updates, guys. I am so freaking excited. The Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl 59, 40-22, and what could only be described in the most accurate terms possible as a straight up ass whooping. The defensive line got to Patrick Mahomes. The offense did exactly what they needed to do, and they basically neutralized Saquon Barkley, which I think the Chiefs were selling out for, but it was such a freaking awesome game, and I cannot believe it. Ali, my co host, how we feeling today, brother? How have these last 2 weeks been for you?
The last 2 weeks feel like the night of the Super Bowl. I've been riding this high as much as I can. Like, my YouTube algorithm is nothing but
Yes.
Eagles Super Bowl highlight reels. My Facebook reel is all Eagles. Everything on my social platforms is all Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think I've taken this hat off since I've gotten it in the mail. And any chance I get, I say go Birds in work meetings. I live in Minnesota. They're all Vikings fans here. My chief growth officer is a Cowboys fan. And every single chance I get, I call out go Birds.
All right. So we know that Drees was at the stadium, but why don't we go through Ali? Who did you watch it with? What was the environment like? What was kind of the vibe of the day for you?
Yeah, so I watched it with my wife, a couple of friends, and a couple of coworkers. And obviously, it's a little, testy when you invite coworkers into your home to
You're
watch
brave.
the Super Bowl for your favorite team. And I was unapologetically myself. The Cooper DeJean pick six, I
Oh,
didn't care what people said about me the next day at work. I didn't care. I let it all out. How about you?
Yeah, so I actually had to go to Chicago for a work trip that week. I'm not gonna lie though. I was watching those ticket prices go down and down and down and down. And Ali, there were multiple times I had phone in my hand saying, dude, do you think we can make it work? Do you think we can make it work? Because I think the cheapest I saw is heading to the airport, about to fly out to O'Hare, and I think I saw him for 2,100 bucks, and I was like, man, it's a lot, but we could. It's so much less than before. It's like we can make it work. No, the airport was absolutely buzzing Sunday morning. I mean, it was insane. It was nothing but green. Everybody is just going. All the police officers were just doing go birds to everybody that was wearing an Eagles logo on anything. I ended up at this bar in Roscoe Village in Chicago called the Revelry. I mean, this place was shoulder to shoulder with nothing but Eagles fans. It was an absolute Philadelphia Eagles bar. The place was absolutely nuts. Had live entertainment, a DJ, music, and all of it. I mean, didn't have any time to eat. I was starving. It didn't matter. I was riding the adrenaline all the way through the night. But Drees, you wake up. Tell us about your whole trip down to New Orleans. I want to hear it right from the beginning. When you bought tickets, what you did down there. The
oh
mic is
man,
yours for the next
that
5 minutes, man.
that's a long weekend if you talk about the whole weekend because I went down there. I've been had the trip planned if the Eagles was going to be there or not because I was like I do content and everything that like that. So I had a few events set up before the Eagles even went there. So to find out the Eagles is going to be there too, it like
Wow.
tripled the trip experience. You know what I mean? So basically Friday when I landed, I hung out with Woodson, like Charles Woodson and his team. I do content with Woodson
Yep.
Whiskey, so I was actually there. Fox hosted the Super Bowl, and we went into the Four Seasons with the whole Fox crew was all in there, all like I seen like a bunch of people. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this right now, so I'm gonna. But we was all chilling the first season at the bar, and that was an amazing experience seeing Hall of Fame players and coaches and everything like that, just sitting around chilling, having drinks and just mingling. But that was like Friday night. That was a crazy experience for me. And then Saturday, went down to the NFL experience. You know, they got all the activities there. Actually did Super Bowl prediction with Rich Eisen, and that's where I called out the Cooper DeJean interception. I got a video of me calling it out.
So I saw that, and now was that like a Super Bowl experience, like a booth, like an AI booth? Was Rich Eisen actually there? What was that actual experience like?
He was actually there, and honestly, like they asked me to do it, and I said no at first. They said, "Hey, we got a gift card for you." I said, "Okay."
What was the gift card for? What was the gift card for? Ruby Tuesdays?
No, it was just a regular Visa gift card with $100. And I was
hey,
like,
there you go, man. So they paid you $100 to give your analysis to Rich Eisen. I mean,
yes.
You've made more money than the wing. You've made more money than the Winging It podcast has. And this is all we do.
So it was pretty cool, and I had my Antonio my Quentin Mitchell shirt on. So he was like, I really love that shirt. Where'd you get that shirt from? So I actually plugged the guy Philly Sports Shirts on a shirt, and he was like, I'm gonna go check it out. But then I called out the Cooper DeJean interception. So you know what happened in the Super Bowl. I told you. I was in there going crazy. But Super Bowl day, of Philly Pretzel Factory was there at Guys Fieri tailgate, and I shot some content with them before the game.
Amazing.
So and the thing about New Orleans is so small, and there was like so much traffic. So me going from event to event to event, the traffic was like so back up. It took like 40 minutes to go 3 miles. A lot of times you gotta like get out the Uber and like walk like 5 or 6 blocks because it's not moving. So that kind of messed me up. I was actually supposed to do something with McCoy, and I end up being late because of the traffic. So that really sucked. Ugh. Yeah, that really sucked. And before I went to the Super Bowl, the tailgate with Guy Fieri and they did the Taste Town and all that stuff, it was like probably like 60 minutes, but only like 4 miles away from the stadium. So I had to like find one of those people on the bikes to, they're like the little motorbikes. I had to find them to cut through traffic because there was no way the Uber is going to make it there for me to get in time for the game. So it was like kind of hectic trying to find a way to the game because New Orleans is so like jam packed and you couldn't move. Honestly, that was like a big struggle. You probably won't even know that happened, but that was like
I remember when we went to the Super Bowl in Scottsdale. That was the whole ride was a parking lot, and we got there I think like 4 or 5 hours early. Right, yeah. Getting around the tailgates and everything, and honestly, like that's like pretty like a big open city. It's not very condensed and consolidated, so I could imagine with all the hype and already all the foot traffic that already exists down in that area, I could imagine that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, it kind of like, so a lot of people was asking me, they're like, man, how drunk were you at the game? I was like, honestly, I didn't even get a chance. I was so busy in traffic most of the time. I didn't really get a chance to actually like, enjoy some drinks. I literally got in the game, like I had to rent to my seats right before like they came out. Like the Chiefs was coming out as I was like getting to my seat. So like it was like that much jam packed, and I started my day like 11 a.m. It wasn't like
so you
I
didn't get
late.
to see like the national anthem or any.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the national anthem. I saw when Bradley Cooper did. That was a loud part too. When Bradley Cooper let them out and like I thought that. You want to talk about the game yet or not?
Yeah, we can go into. Well, I heard that they did a side-by-side comparison of the Chiefs running out to the tunnel and how quiet it was, and then the Eagles running out of the tunnel and how freaking loud it was. It was insane, the difference. It was just like, it was honestly, Ali, it reminds me a lot of Phoenix.
To be honest, I could hear more boos than I could hear cheers for when the Chiefs came out. Like, what was the Eagles versus Chiefs fandom looking like in the stadium?
So honestly, when the Chiefs came out and they doing I'm like, wow, this is electric. Like, this is crazy. And then Bradley Cooper said, "Eat," and it was like, boom. It was like, I was like, I thought that was loud, and it was like a whole different experience. I'm like, what? I'm just looking around in amazement. Like, that's when I teared up. I was like, I felt the emotion. I felt it coming out. I was like, I can't believe the Super Bowl is this loud. This is crazy. I'm like, yo, we winning this. Like, I felt it right then and there, honestly.
So, Dries, when Taylor Swift because there's a lot of controversy about all of this, which I don't think it's that deep. She grew up an Eagles fan. She's dating a Chiefs guy. she's kind of showing there as agnostic. She's not wearing Eagles. She's not even wearing red. Or of course she's going to get booed. It's not that deep, y'all. There ain't nothing more than that. It ain't that deep. But there's a lot of controversy. Was like it pretty raucous and like were people booing pretty heavy when they showed her on it, or was a little bit it sensationalized because of the TV?
No, it was loud when they booed her.
I love it.
You see her face. Her face is looking like that's her first time in life getting booed. Her face is like.
I love that. I love it. Oh man,
it was like, and then the Superdome. I don't know if you guys ever went to a game in the Superdome. It's already like I told y'all before, like on the first podcast I did with y'all. That's the loudest stadium I've been to, and like with Eagles fans in there, I'm like, whoa, this is a different experience.
Holy crap!
So, one of the things that was kind of frustrating me in the sports media world leading up to the Super Bowl is how every personality, every expert was basically saying top to bottom, with the exception of the quarterback and the kicker and the coach, this Eagles roster is so much better than the Kansas City Chiefs. And yet, the only reason why we're going to go with the Chiefs is because of this thing called Mahomes magic. That they were like, oh, what one team has number 15, and I can't go against that team that has number 15. You know what it felt like? It honestly felt like 2016, when like the concept of like fake news, you didn't know what like real information was, and it had you kind of second guessing yourself, because like we all watched the Eagles play through these playoffs and they passed the eye test, right? There were a couple of times where we're like, I think we might blow out the Chiefs. But all of these sports media personalities were like, I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. 2-3. At what point in the first half did you realize it was over?
Shit, going into halftime up 24-0. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't even the first half I thought it was over, because last time we was up at halftime.
That's true.
I feel like that to me, the dagger, the nail in the coffin, when they came out and threw the bomb to Devontae Smith and went up 34, I was like, it's over. Like, it's time to celebrate. that was my time where it's like, because even if you watch like the clips, I know you say you've been watching the clips, like even on the sideline, they were still worried about it. Like, no, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And I feel like that made everybody comfortable. Like,
yeah, and so I think I got a little overzealous. I wanted to jump in the game because one of the things that, to be honest, that I got a little emotional about this week was actually a video that you posted on your feed, on your social channels. You were on the Winging It podcast, last year, right? We were talking about, was it last? Yes, it was last year. You were talking about your bucket list, which stadiums you wanted to go to, and you talked about one of your biggest bucket lists for the NFL is watching the Birds win the Super Bowl. Can you reflect a little bit on being there in that moment and just kind of like being in that moment, enjoying yourself, seeing your favorite team that you grew up watching win the championship and hoist that Lombardi trophy?
Yeah, so like I said before, when I was emotional when I seen them they hear the Eagles chant and then they run out. That's when I was like, I thought my emotional part is like seeing them hoist the trophy and all that stuff. But that's my most emotional part. I'm like, I can't really like believe I'm here. It's like it's going down. I was like so confident inside, like I had like no doubt. Like last time when they played, I was like, well, at least we made it. Like that's always my thought going into the game. Like we made the Super Bowl. Like at least we made it. This time I was like, I know we're gonna win. You know what I mean? So I was like, on that point, I was like really emotional. But the game was over so fast. It's like I was already like celebrating like halfway through. You know what I mean? So it didn't hit as emotional at the end because we like up so big, and it was like we did it. We did it. So everybody's in there like basically celebrating. But when we was up 34-0, and it was just the party had started.
Right.
The party had started. Honestly.
So then you're watching the first drive for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts checks at the line of scrimmage. The Chiefs blitz. He throws a bomb down the right sideline of the field, caught by A.J. Brown. You see a flag come out. Offensive pass interference on A.J. Brown. I'm sure they showed you the replay in the stadium. What we saw on TV was not offensive pass interference. Wow. Tom Brady, Mike Pereira both hated the call. Talk to me about the environment. What did you think? What did the stadium think when they saw that?
Yeah, of course the whole stadium thought it was bullshit. You hear the boos coming out. But honestly, I don't think like even the people I was sitting around, I don't feel like nobody ever lost confidence. Like you probably get that first call, you be like, oh no, here we go again. It was never that feel like with me or even the people that are like around me in the area because I sat around like it was no Chiefs fans where I said it. It literally was all Eagles fans. Everybody was like, "That's cool, that's cool. We gonna get the ball back." And like that was people feeling the whole time, and it like paid off, man. I mean, that's how it was.
Awesome. So then, a couple of drives later, Jalen Hurts is showing that he is pretty much in command of this offense. He's reading this Chiefs defense with one mistake. He threw an underthrown ball towards AJ Brown, towards the trying to beat the blitz, right? But a couple of drives later, the Chiefs have the ball at their own 30-yard line. First down, Josh Sweat comes around the edge and sacks Patrick Mahomes for 4 yards. What is the environment after that play?
After that play, everybody's going crazy. It was everybody was going crazy the whole time, honestly. And before we even get to that point, it was like everybody was like before we could talk about that point, everybody was anticipating Saquon Barkley to break the record. So a lot of time at the beginning of the game, it was like, is he gonna break it on this play? Is he gonna break it on this play? Everybody's like anticipating him for him to break the record. So that was like a little bit of like the first quarter going into the second quarter until he did it right before halftime. But I feel like the first half, everybody was so focused on Saquon breaking the record, and he was getting stuffed a little bit. Yep. But again, after the quarterback on defense, the whole stadium was loud for the defense, and I think it actually helped them. Like it got them like riled up and going right after Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is getting away, honestly, but they still chased him down. So I feel like everybody in the crowd was hyping them up, and I feel like we actually played the part, the fans.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know the answer to this now. And I don't know if you've all seen the NFL mic'd up version of the game. It's 41 minutes. It's on YouTube. It is a work of art. It is amazing. Do you know how many blitzes we had during that game? Zero freaking blitzes. Our defense was so dominant. There was no slippery field. There was no drama. It was artificial turf, the best possible conditions. Weather was a non-factor, and just go out there in the trenches, and we absolutely dominated them. I mean, we got to Mahomes with our front four and had more people dropped in coverage, and Mahomes just couldn't figure out where to get the ball. Speaking on the defense, the most iconic play from this Super Bowl, something that I have watched, if you were to put a line on it, I'm not joking, 400 times, is the Cooper to Gene interception for multiple reasons. And I want to hear how the stadium was when that happened, because I can only imagine. Drafted as a rookie, second round, was getting prank phone calls, round one of the draft. Didn't know where he was going to end up going, had to go into it with a better attitude, ends up going to the Philadelphia Eagles, is overjubilated, makes the Super Bowl in his rookie. His first career interception is not only an interception and a pick six, it is against Patrick Mahomes, who is this generation's Tom Brady. That moment couldn't have been any bigger for anybody. Oh, did I mention it was his birthday? What was that experience like when you saw that? Please tell me you weren't in the bathroom and missed it.
No.
I would cry. I would cry. The whole trip would be worthless then.
And honestly, that was another reason why I told you I didn't have that many drinks, because I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to miss nothing. So I didn't go to the bar and not to get any drinks. But on that moment, like it was like two separate parts that got super loud. The initial interception, he caught it. It went crazy. That everybody like holding, waiting. He in end zone, it abrupted again. Like it got even louder the second time. So it was like crazy, and I'm just like screaming. Like so they gave everybody like the wristband with the lights, and I'm so hyped, swinging my arms like, let's go. It flew somewhere. I don't know where it went. I don't know where my light is. I was like, that literally was my hypest point of the game, where I was like the loudest. I feel like everybody was the loudest at that point in the game, because it's just like, and I feel like that was the beginning of like really believing is over. I know Ali, you asked earlier about like when you start believing, and then we went up 17-0. It's like Mahomes was never comfortable. He's throwing picks. It was just like it was starting to build up. Like everybody starting to feel it. The confidence was going crazy. The defense was even getting faster. It was just like unbelievable.
Yeah, and what led up to that play, right, was that first sack that Josh Sweat had on 1st and 10, making it 2nd and 14. Then right after that play, I don't know of any better feeling as a fan to watch my defense get 2 sacks in a row.
Beautiful.
Jalix Hunt goes in there, sacks Mahomes.
Jalix Hunt is going to be a problem in this league.
Yes, he is. Sacks Mahomes for an additional 2 yards. It's 3rd and 16. And I'm just like, come on, bring on the third sack. Bring on the third sack. And then here we go. Cooper DeJean just coming out of nowhere with an absolute veteran move. This play has a chance, honestly, to get remembered as one of the greatest Eagles plays to ever happen.
It's this year's Philly special is exactly what it is.
Yeah, so if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go through this breakdown. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, head on over to our YouTube channel so you can watch this amazing breakdown. So Cooper DeJean, the Eagles are lining up in this, like, they call this like a cover 4 shell with your apex defender. What's his name? The guy who replaced Nico Dean.
Oren Burks.
Oren Burks, thank you, I appreciate it. And then you got Cooper DeJean here playing the slot. Chiefs are lined up in this like trips bunch formation with, I think this is DeAndre Hopkins at the bottom, Pacheco's down here, and Patrick Mahomes is lined up in the gun. To start off, they're communicating. It's like, okay, I've got, just pay attention in case like there's some switch offs here. So Cooper DeJean's communicating with Darius Slay. I apologize, Slay. And once this play starts moving, a couple of pretty amazing things happen. Number one, these two receivers go deep, right? They are playing a zone coverage defense. This top receiver carries with him C.J. Gardner-Johnson. This second receiver is carried by Darius Slay. Slay. This third receiver is hanging out in the flat here. So you've got Zach Bond, who's covering this third receiver. You've got Slay on the second receiver. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson on this third. Cooper DeJean is hanging out in this zone area right here, and he's like, I got no one right now. He senses DeAndre Hopkins coming across the field, carrying with him Quinyon Mitchell. And as this play starts to develop, Patrick Mahomes, if he throws this ball right now, this is a completion. No question about it. This is, this is the play that the Chiefs need to kind of get right. However, what Cooper DeJean ends up doing is he sees Patrick Mahomes, he sees his eyes drift off to the left side of the field, and then all of a sudden, he undercuts this route, sensing DeAndre Hopkins here, and cuts in the middle of this. This is what I would consider such a veteran professional cornerback move, and this guy is a rookie on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nose for the end zone. You see that nose for the end zone? He made sure he got in there.
I mean, and to be honest, like the awareness of like where all the offensive players are, he's going full speed right now. Once he hits the 20-yard line, you see him put the brakes on and just weaving through traffic so that he can get to the end zone. This is, without a doubt, one of the coolest interceptions that I've seen. It's awesome that it happened on his birthday. It's awesome that it happened in the Super Bowl. But the fact that he was able to diagnose this play so quickly, recognize that, hey, I'm a free defender right now, and let me improvise, and he was able to take advantage of it. Hell of a play call by Vic Fangio. A lot of people are calling this Vic Fangio's masterpiece, but an even incredible play by Cooper DeJean, the rookie, on this veteran-ass move that he just pulled.
Yes, man. Definitely to play the game.
yes to all of it. And then we were up 17-0. The Chiefs get the ball back. When did Zach Bond catch that interception? Was that in the second half or was that the next drive?
I think the next drive.
The next drive.
And then that's when A.J. Brown scored right after that.
Yep. Yeah. 12-yard pass. 12-yard pass to A.J. Brown. 24-0 heading into the half. And can we just talk about Zach Bond as well? I mean, you want to talk about Saquon Barkley being a difference maker, and if you listen to the mic'd up, I mean, it's every player talking to him. Howie Roseman is like, I love you. Thank you for trusting in me. Jeff Lurie is like, it is you. Jalen Hurts is like, hey, we were there, but you were the piece that got us over. Zach Bond has been just such an incredible leader and such an incredible player on this defense. I'm so happy he got one here in free agency. I'm sure Howie Roseman listens to this podcast. Dude, sign him up. Pay him that man whatever the hell he wants and lock him up. We cannot afford to lose him.
For sure, man. I feel like that's the number one thing to do on the off season. Make sure we lock them up because we pass on linebackers all the time, and we seen it happen after the last Super Bowl. We passed up on a linebacker, and then like we couldn't tackle. Next, we bring back CJ. We bring in Bond, and I love, like, a lot of people don't think like CJ makes a difference. His heart and his, like, he's a dog. I love him too. Like, and everybody like follows the leader. Like, he's going out there, putting us all out there, and they right behind him. And then you got a dog and Bone. Like, he don't care. He's out there throwing his body around, making plays. And this is like, I love that defense. That's what we was missing last year. Last year, everybody looking at each other like, what? This year, he's like, I'm gonna beat you to the ball. And I love that about that defense. Like, everybody want to be the first one to the ball. Ain't no just me out there. We all are gonna go get it. I love it.
And some of those key players, Drees, I mean, you're absolutely right. And just the nucleus of this team is so young, too. We have a lot of first and second year players on that defense. I mean, Ali, we were so naive to think that the Super Bowl window, we were so doom and gloom after we lost, saying the window was there, it's lost. Man, we have a few bright years ahead of us, a few very, very, very bright years ahead of us. If this talent stays here, our coaching stays at the top of its game, I mean, this could be what the Philadelphia Eagles say. I know we thought that after 2017. We thought the window closed last year. Anything can change. The league is always changing, but man, I'm very, very, very hopeful for what's going to happen over the next few years while these guys are young.
But honestly, Alex, I don't think we were completely misplaced in saying that our window was closed in 2022 because history backs it up, right? The last time a quarterback lost a Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl, and then went back was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Right? It does not bode well. And I think it is a testament to what Howie Roseman has been able to do to take a completely different team. How many players are on this team that were on the 2017 team? Three?
A couple.
I was going to say players? 3 starters, maybe.
Right. It's Jake Elliott, Lane Johnson, and Brandon Graham. Right?
Jalen Hurts.
Well, Jalen Hurts wasn't on the 2017.
Oh, 2017. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a testament to Howie Roseman's ability to build football teams. And it's not easy to do, right? Because you can't just replicate the Howie Roseman formula. Because Cam Jurgens was, we drafted him a couple of years ago before we were even talking about Jason Kelce retiring, right? Howie Roseman knows how to build a long, sustained football team, and it starts with the trenches. It starts with the guys up front. Yeah. And the fact that our offensive line went from having an all-pro center, losing him, and we got better is a testament to his ability as a general manager to bring us back and put us in this position again.
Can I say his best move?
Yes.
Hunt. Like, who the hell would have thought to ever draft Hunt, especially in the 3rd round? What the, like, how? Like,
right.
Like, how did you find this guy? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think I would have a pretty good argument to say his best move was probably Jalen Carter, the guy that was like,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, his college problems got like landed to us.
Right. I mean, obviously.
Hey, was everyone okay after the Super Bowl? I didn't hear anything. That's good.
Exactly.
He's learned.
But no, Jalen Carter is one of those, again, an unsung hero of the Super Bowl. Every single time he was on the field, tell me one play that the Kansas City Chiefs ran where Jalen Carter wasn't double teamed and opened up other opportunities for the other 3 defensive linemen.
Man, you heard earlier this season, Saquon was like, I played against you. They scared of you. Like, I really think people fear Jalen Carter when he lined up in front of him. Like, I really believe that.
I think he's going to be the best player in the NFL. I think he's the new Aaron Donald. He's going to be on number 1 on many lists. So how was the Kendrick? How was Kendrick at halftime? So we're kind of working our way through the game now. Kendrick Lamar, I think there was some complaints online. Not everyone appreciates hip hop and everything. I loved it. We were all singing along together at the bar. I think some of the audio on the TV wasn't really as good. It looks a lot better on YouTube that they cleaned it all up. So I think like there was a little bit of like EQ issue and everything. But how was it in the stadium? That must have been pretty damn exciting.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for Not Like Us. Everybody basically was like waiting for that song to come on. It like, is he gonna say it next? Is he gonna say it next? Yeah. And once it came on, everybody like everybody was just basically like sitting there listening. They waiting for Not Like Us. Not Like Us came on.
Yeah.
It was like,
Is that it? Is that the
everybody
bass
singing
line?
it
Is that the
together.
bass line? Is that the bass? Oh, yeah. Maybe the next song. Yo, it's pretty
He
diabolical.
teased it a few times too.
He
He's
did.
Yeah.
He
You know,
did.
you know what they want to hear.
It's
So
pretty
everybody-
diabolical. It's pretty diabolical that on a halftime show they played a Drake diss song about him being a pedophile. I mean, that is like some top level rap beats that we haven't heard since the '90s and Biggie and Tupac.
And a week, but a week before that, he won 5 Grammys off of this song. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah, there ain't no way Drake's gonna have much of a career after this. I mean, only his loyal fans are gonna stick with him. But Kendrick won that beef fair and square.
He made a lot of money from it. We know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Dries, after halftime, this dynasty, if you will, of the Kansas City Chiefs first started in 2019 when the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson were up 24-0 at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs came back and won that game. I think it was in the wild card round. Chiefs are down 24-0, come out of halftime. I think it was like they got 1 first down and then went 3 plays before punting. What was that the moment?
The moment was like, first of all, we checked the stats, and Mahomes had like 21 passing yards. We like, how is this possible? Like, everybody's stunned. Like, how does Mahomes have 21 passing yards? Like, it doesn't make sense to us. It's mind blowing. And then you see that we threw the bomb to Devontae Smith for the touchdown, go 34-0. I think that's when the party started. That's when everybody was like, they believe everything. They like, we're champs. And like, but you know, we see everything on the sideline. They like, no, not yet. Even like Jalen Hurts, he was like, I'm waiting till the clock hit 0. Last game changed my soul. Like he didn't want to believe it until the clock hit 0. But like I feel like the crowd after that touchdown, it was like everybody got loose and there was like start celebrating. It was like, let's pay. People paid less attention to the game after that. Honestly, like it was more so like talking about parades, talking about this, talking about that. Like everybody like, yo, this is over. Let's go.
I unfortunately missed that play.
Oh,
really?
Bomb to Devontae, yeah. The line for the bathroom was super long, and I came out to everyone cheering. I went right when Avonte Maddox knocked over for the conversion on downs, and then about 30 seconds later, I hear the whole place absolutely erupting in cheers.
Oh, I forgot to talk about that. So, like, as you probably couldn't see it I don't know if they showed it on TV or not, but, like, Cooper DeJean was, like, all the way down in the end zone, and he was, like, they showed it on TV? He was like grabbing it. He was grabbing his hamstring, like, oh man. So I was with Jordan Spector, and I'm like, yo, Jordan Spector, look. I'm like, Jordan, look, Cooper back there, his hamstring messed up. Like, I don't know. But then Avonte Maddox came out on a 4th down play and knocked the ball down. I'm like, that's his best play of the year. Because I feel like benching him for Cooper was the best decision the Eagles made this year. Like after that, the whole defense changed.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
So, like, when he got back in the game, I got a little bit nervous. I ain't going to lie. But he came out. He drove on that ball, knocked it down. Eagles got the ball. It was electric.
That's why if there was ever a moment where you could potentially award Super Bowl MVP to an entire defense, I wouldn't have been mad if that was the moment. Yeah. Because starting in the second half, there were plays where Patrick Mahomes was getting phantom pressure. He was stepping up into the pocket when he didn't need to, straight into sacks. And if you see that play, if you watch replays on that 4th down conversion that they missed, he flat out missed DeAndre Hopkins. Like he was supposed to lead him. He threw it behind him. And that's why Avonte Maddox was in position to make that play. So again, kudos to the entire defense for the pressure that they were able to put on Patty Mahomes. But then another plug for the NFL Films moment, Nick Sirianni on the sideline talking to Kellen Moore, and then goes, if we score here,
it's over.
Game's over. Yeah. He's like, I don't care, just call it.
Yeah.
So Kellen Moore, to this offense's credit, Saquon Barkley, despite having, I think, 2.3 yards per carry, still got 25 touches on this game to keep the Kansas City defense honest. It was they line up in the pistol formation, Jalen Hurts, play action. The entire defense takes 2 steps forward thinking that Saquon's going to get this ball. And to be honest, if you look at that play, Jahan Dotson, had beat his man. A.J. Brown had beat his man. Smitty just happened to be the farthest closest to the end zone, and I think that's why he was the beneficiary of it. But hell of a play call and hell of a way to sort of like stick to your guns and make sure that you kept the defense honest.
I mean, it's like I feel like every play the wide receivers beat the D-backs. Like
Yes.
literally every single play. It was like not one time like we were locked up on passing. It was like so easy. They out there playing 1-on-1 too. It was easy for everybody.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That was the moment for me that I knew it was over. Confidence was rising and everything. I still remember when we were heading into halftime, Ali is like, they're setting this up to be another Tom Brady moment, and it's going to be the new GOAT and all of this coming back from a horrible start. But man, just didn't really happen. Didn't happen that way. Sorry, Patty. So then at 34-0, at the half was just absolutely insane. And I was there for a work trip, and my manager texted me and said, "Hey, like, good job so far." I'm like, "Hey, if you need to know, the score's 40-6, and you don't need to ask me how I'm doing for the next 3 months. So we're doing okay over here." Incredible.
You know, honestly, when I think back on it, for me, it was seeing Kenny Pickett take the field. I don't know of any Super Bowl that was ever played that had the backup quarterback line up in victory formation at the end of the game. What a like and granted, right? Like the game ended 40-22. We all know those were garbage time touchdowns, especially that last one. Granted, it was an amazing pass. I think it was like 65 or 70 yards by Mahomes.
After the Gatorade pour.
Yeah, after the Gatorade pour, which is so disrespectful. You do a Gatorade pour before the 2-minute warning because you're just that confident that they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was Sidney Brown and Isaiah Rodgers covering Worthy, obviously out of position. Obviously, there's a reason why they're not starters, but to be honest, seeing Kenny Pickett out there was just like, how demoralizing is it to see the other team's backup quarterbacks start taking snaps, handing the ball off, and even throwing a pass in the Super Bowl, and there's nothing you can do about it.
If he completed that pass for first down, we would have had that long pass from Mahomes.
That's right. That's right.
He may have the incompletion, man. If he completed that, game would have been over.
Okay, I want to do one last unsung hero for the Philadelphia Eagles, a person that I was really hard on for the entire season. I was hard on him this entire postseason. Jake Elliott, I think tied.
He still needs to go.
The most points by a kicker. Jake Elliott tied the most points by any kicker in Super Bowl history. I think he scored 16 points. When we needed him to show up, he showed up, and he showed up big.
Did he, though?
He did.
Did he throughout the postseason show up when we needed him all the time? Did he not miss games that didn't have to be one-possession games and they turned into one-possession games? Sure, he had a great Super Bowl. Totally get it. Great job. Thank you, Jake, for doing your job in the Super Bowl. Totally agree. I get it. Like, tons of pressure, whatever. But did he really show up when we needed him every single time this year? I don't know about all that. I'm happy for what he did. Jake Elliott has had a wonderful career. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl attendee. He's done. His tenure in Philadelphia is done. We need to move on to some younger talent. That's not. We need a Brandon Aubrey like kicker here in Philadelphia. That's what we need.
Yeah,
we bringing him back, Ali. I mean, seriously. Hey, unsung hero, great. I can get on board with it, but I ain't with Jake right now.
2-3. What do you think?
I was saying that throughout the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, he won't be here next year. Man. Yeah. He missed too many. Like, we've been lucky. Like, win those games, even though he missed that. Hey, Washington. We probably like that Washington game. He probably would have won if he made some field. Like, I think he missed a field goal in that Washington game, right? When we lost.
Yeah, but you know what? Guess what happened to the Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton, who were 15-1, and went to the Super Bowl and got absolutely demolished. Guess what happened to the 2007 Patriots, who were 16-0, went to the Super Bowl, could complete the most epic season out of any team in NFL history, and ended up losing that game. I think losses teach you more than wins, and I think us losing those games taught Jake Elliott, hey, maybe I need to make these kicks, otherwise I'm going to be out of a job next year. He split the eye price.
He still missed in the playoffs. It was just the Super Bowl he was perfect.
Yeah, Super Bowl he was perfect. In the Super Bowl. Ali's like, I don't really have too much more to argue with this, so we're gonna move on to the next point. It's not much of a debate, but I get it. I get it. All right, so Dries, so 40-6. They come back, they score a few. We know it's all garbage time. The only reason the box score looks a lot closer than it was is all of garbage time. Clock hits double zeros. Gatorade bats on the field. The confetti flies. You see it for the first time in the banner. Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. How you feeling in that moment? I'm sure you're already emotional before, but now that it was real, take us through what you're going through in that moment.
So I got the text to say, hurry up and get to the Eagles after party. So I was like, all right, let me get some videos real quick before I go. So I was like, I was in celebration mode, man. We had to actually like hurry up and get to the Eagles. Eagles had the after party at the Hilton. So we had to like hurry up to get over there. But as we was walking out, me and Jerem was like, it was kind of like calm, like walking out. It was like a lot of news stations outside asking people questions. And like, even Eagles fans, it wasn't as hyped as we thought it would be. I feel like because everybody like knew it was over early and they started celebrating early in the stadium. Because as we was walking out, it wasn't as like, let's go Super Bowl champions. It was just like, we won, let's go. And everybody's going to their little situations. People was going to Bourbon Street. People was going to the after parties and stuff like that. That's when people was like mainly focused on. But I honestly expected more hype after the win. It was kind of calm.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think it's probably because everyone was already celebrating in the third quarter when they knew it was over. But I think back to 2017, and that one was so much more emotional because that was the first one ever. That is the first time we've done something that was for all of the parents and grandparents that were buried that never got to experience a Super Bowl champion win in their lives and everything. And now it's just like this one was just pure dominance. Like we were just the better football team. There wasn't a Nick Foles backup underdog mask story. Thankfully, we retired that Meek Mill song this year because we needed to. We needed to just get past what happened in 2017. But this year was just so much different. It was fun. It was we are dominating. It was Gilly. Gilly was like, he was the spokesperson for the team this year, and like we needed it. We needed something new. We needed a new identity. I think the Let's Hunt thing is kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think the whole like NFL mascot thing is kind of stupid when I think about it. Like we're wearing like cartoon eagles all over us, and I'm getting myself tattooed in it. Like I'm good with it. Like it is what it is. But like it's kind of childish. But it just felt like this one was just like pure dominance, less fairy tale, more like, hey, we are just the better team. We're the stronger team. We're the more athletic team. We have the best running back in the league. And I mean, that's kind of why I just feel that way, right? It's just like we were the better team there. We showed it. It's not a surprise. Like we did it. We did it because we knew we'd be here. We said what we were going to do and we set out to do it. And that's why I was probably a little bit calm when I left the stadium.
Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, like 2017, it literally came down to the last play. Like Tom Brady threw it up, and it was incomplete. So it's like everybody looking like it's Tom Brady. This is incomplete, and it went crazy. So like there was like people knew it was over like the end of the third quarter. So everybody started their celebration. I feel like a lot of people probably even left the stadium at that time. Honestly, they didn't even stay for like the ceremony, but. After that, it was a lot of news stations outside asking questions. People was like a little hyped for the news. But
did you see any of the ceremony? You were out there before it started.
Yeah, I watched like the first little bit, but I got the text like, "Hurry up, get to the Hilton right now." So I was like, "All right, I gotta go." And I got to see the actual Eagles. I got to celebrate with the Eagles, with their families, with the coaches, with Jeff Lurie and everything like that. So that was a crazy highlight as well too, man. Got to actually mingle with the Super Bowl champs after they won the Super Bowl.
That's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
When I think about kind of reflecting over this season, and as I was typing out the description of this video, we were talking like a revenge tour almost like comes to mind, right? Because of how 2022 ended, how, last year ended, losing 6 out of the last 7 games. You come into this season, Jalen Hurts, all of the chirping about like, is he actually an elite quarterback or is he carried by his team, which is still continuing beyond the Super Bowl, which is like just blatantly crazy to me. You got Nick Sirianni, who was said like he was one of the top coaches on the hot seat this year. You got Saquon Barkley, who everyone said was an overpaid back. The Eagles spent way too much money for him. You got Howie Roseman and you know the entire front office that was told like, oh, you guys have lost it, right? You can't replicate the magic of 2017, and we did nothing but dominate after the bye week. We beat every single team that was in front of us. Now, granted, you could probably say the Falcons should have probably. We were one catch away from the Falcons. We were one catch away with a backup quarterback and Devontae Smith against the Washington Commanders. So we potentially could have been a one-loss team going into the playoffs. And the fact that we were able to end it in such dominating fashion is like it's a Rocky, right? 2022 was Rocky 1. They kind of like realized that we had something special. Rocky loses at the end of Rocky 1, and then he comes back and beats Apollo Creed in Rocky 2. In this case, it didn't feel like Rocky 2, though. It almost felt like when Rocky was fighting the Russian in Rocky 4, and his trainer was like, you see, he bleeds. He's a man. He's not a machine. You can take him out. And I think that's what I was witnessing as this defense was dominating Patrick Mahomes so much, because all of the week leading up to the Super Bowl was Mahomes magic, Mahomes magic. Guess what, guys? Magic isn't real. At the end of the day, you line up on the line of scrimmage, and it's a match of sheer power and will. I'm stronger than you. I'm gonna move you out of my way. Magic be damned, and I'm gonna sack your quarterback. And it was beautiful to watch.
Beautifully said.
Also, let's talk about the offense. The playoffs actually was the first time the whole offense played together since week 1. So
Yes.
and they set a record for the most points scored in the offense. So imagine if we had the whole offense for like most of the season. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because every time it was somebody out. So we finally saw them all together for 4 or 5 straight games in the playoffs, and we saw what they could do all together. So that's something good to look forward to because ain't nobody going nowhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, thinking about people not going anywhere, we don't have to do a whole like deep analysis, but we do have a whole bunch of free agents that are going to be hitting the market, and there are some pretty key players here. So I'll go through the list really quick. It's going to be Ian Book, Kenny Gainwell, Paris Campbell, CJ Uzma, Mekhi Becton, that's a notable name, Jack Driscoll, Nick Gates, Fred Johnson, BG, notable for Eagles folklore, but I think it's probably time for him to hang it up. Josh Sweat, that's a big one. Milton Williams, big one. Been trying to get him on our podcast so much, and he just won't answer me back. Zach Bond, another huge one. Wow. Oren Burks, another big one. Avante Maddox, Rick Lovato. So, we definitely need to figure that out. In my opinion, you re-sign Josh Sweat, you re-sign Zach Bond, you give them whatever the hell that they want, and you keep the nucleus. You keep two team captains, in play, and that's kind of where I see that goes. But there is an infinite cap space. There are teams that are going to be hurting, and Zach Bond's earned it. So I hope that he gets the bag. I hope he gets his payday. I hope he stays healthy, but I do hope he's definitely gearing up in Midnight Green next year.
Yeah, I honestly think that Josh Sweat wouldn't like X for as much as like Reddick was preparing to X for like a bunch of money. That's kind of like why we got the reason why we got rid of Reddick. I feel like Josh Sweat want to stay with the Eagles. I don't feel like he was going to like try to break their balls. I think he was trying to like wherever works for the team.
Yeah, I remember
So
Javon Hargrave too was in the similar boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Sweat will like do what's best for the team. I don't think he's like a person that wants to be the highest paid.
You think so? I mean, right before the Super Bowl, he actually changed agents.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you do something like that, if you don't expect to have a monster game to be able to have like as leverage.
Because he was saying, did you hear him say like I think I should have been Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
He actually said that. He's like he think he should have been Super Bowl MVP. So
I don't honestly think that would have been all. It was going to go to Jalen regardless, but
Yeah.
I totally would have been okay if it was Joshua Perspiration up there. Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say to that? I think Mekhi Becton would do that, Drees. I think him winning a Super Bowl was an accomplishment. I think he was treated like dirt in New York.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many press conferences, man. Dude, the video mashups that I'm seeing on Twitter and Instagram right now are just freaking awesome, dude. Like, thank the Lord that we live in 2024 and amateur videographers can just like mash together the most epic, like goosebump inducing clips that we've ever seen. But there's this one where Mekhi Becton is just working and Robert Saleh is defending him. And the press asks him and he's like, I don't know why I have so many haters. I come here, I put my head down, I work, and I'm just gonna make them eat their words. And then it pans over to him showering his baby in confetti, just looking up at the sky with tears in his eyes. I got chills just thinking about it now. I mean, like, that's a moment.
He's like, is it like read his lips? He's like this crazy,
like dude, but like that is like everything he said that he was going to set out to do. So I think somebody like him that is saying, hey, like this is all I ever wanted and I want to silence my critics would definitely come back and want to do it again. I know we would gladly take him again. If Josh Sweat is going in there saying, hey, like I should have won MVP, like, dude, it's a team thing, and that's what the whole team thing has been. I don't think Mekhi Becton is like, I did this. He's like, no, I'm part of the team that did this. So, you know, you also got to make sure that you're not getting those, detractors in the way there too.
To be honest, I think Zach Bond is our priority.
Exactly.
Josh Sweat,
I agree. Number one.
You know, I don't necessarily think it's that big of a loss if we lose Josh Sweat. We've got Jalux Hunt, who's an up-and-coming edge rusher. We've got Nolan Smith, who's still on his rookie contract. Micah Parsons is dying to be an Eagle. We all see it. It's
Miles
bound
Garrett.
to happen.
Miles Garrett.
There's a chance of Miles Garrett.
It would not surprise me if Miles Garrett comes in. And to be honest,
would surprise me, dude. Miles Garrett's getting a first-round pick. Like, there's no way that the Eagles are ever going to give something like that up.
And to be honest, hey, we got the 32nd pick, so no one really wants that low pick, right?
True.
But I do think that
Birds, baby. Oh, dude.
I think Howie. I think he might be willing to part ways with Josh Sweat, given his history with the team. We were more than happy to let Javon Hargraves go. We were more than willing to let our linebackers go. We let C.J. Gardner-Johnson go. The heart and soul of this defense. God, I love C.J. Gardner. 1 second, just I need a moment. I've never seen a bigger trash talker and a person who's able to get in someone's head so much that he gets his helmet punched off and the referee flags him because of how much he was talking.
Like, what could he have possibly said to get flagged? They talk about everything.
Yes.
In those. He got flagged for whatever the hell he said. NFL Films is like, this is actually illegal to show what he actually said. Like, it's that bad. This is actually a misdemeanor in some counties, If
you watch C.J. Gardner-Johnson on Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce is literally taking everything in him to not take a swing at him. And every time C.J. Gardner-Johnson would get up, he put his hands behind his back.
That's what he always do.
Dude, I love it. Well, my favorite is they interviewed Vic Fangio, and like we've always known BG is the biggest trash talker in the world, right? He's always in the huddle. He's like, you little dog. He's like, I see you 2-5, and he's like, is he always? Fletcher Cox like he's always like this. He's gonna be saying it all game. And they asked Vic Fangio, he said, who's the bigger trash talker, CJ or BG? And without hesitation, he's like, CG, by a lot. And it's bad. But it's honestly the best because just like you said, Ali, I mean, he is just getting under people's skin. He's getting them so frustrated. You can only imagine what he's saying at the end of every single snap. It is like my favorite thing. Like if he not only does he have the trash talk, he backs up the trash talk. I mean, he was dominant. Could you imagine being up 40-6 and you have to go up against CJ Gardner-Johnson just talking about you or your girlfriend, saying you should be with that thick stuff or like whatever? Like could you he's probably saying that to him. Did you see the shirt that he was wearing at the Super Bowl parade? He's like, Swifties can LIX my balls. Like, dude, I'm telling you, could you just imagine being Travis Kelce? You're losing 40-6 and you have him talking about your bony girlfriend? Like, it is so bad, dude. It's so bad.
After he hit you hard.
Exactly.
That's so frustrating. Jeez.
Oh, man. Yeah, bring back CJ Gardner-Johnson. Absolutely. Zach Bond needs to come back. I'd be okay with Josh Sweat, right? I think if you really so one of the interviews that Slay had after the bye week, they asked him like what the big difference was with the defense, why they were able to turn things around so much, and Slay was just like, not too much, man. We just focused on our fundamentals. We focused on tackling, right? And like it's crazy to me how when you get to this level, the fundamentals of football still matter. You tackle well, you control the line of scrimmage, you're able to run the ball and play defense, and you win football games. And yes, absolutely. I think putting Cooper DeJean in for Avonte Maddox was huge. But I also think of that play against Derrick Henry when Cooper DeJean went low, picked him up, and pile drived him into the ground. Like, Avonte Maddox isn't making a tackle like that, right? I think this is the fundamentals that we were able to get back to, which is why I'm okay if we lose a guy like Josh Sweat, because I know that whoever goes in his place is going to get coached up the right way.
Yeah.
Even CJ, you was at the Falcons game, right, Aleks?
Yeah.
And he was stuffing Bijan on like the 4th and 1. I think he did it twice, like stuffed Bijan on 4th and 1.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. He's little, man. He's little.
Yeah.
No, it's really exciting. I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about the second Eagles championship, and just to be alive for both is just incredible. We could have a few more. I think this episode's going a little bit long. I mean, I don't really care. I could talk about this stuff all night, but man, it is just so freaking exciting.
2-3. Before we wrap it up, any last words?
Man, I'm so thankful for this season. It was a crazy ride. I enjoyed it the whole time. A lot of like AJ Brown said, man. A lot of times you get to the top and then you look back at the ride. Man, the ride was amazing. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next one. I'm not gonna say I can't wait. Let this simmer. Let this marinate.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying this right now, and then we get back to it next season, man. Go Birds.
Go Birds, baby. Thinking of next season, I thought there was a game in Australia, and I texted you, Ali. I don't think the Eagles are actually going to be in that one, unfortunately, because I was like, oh, I don't know.
You was gonna go?
Flights
You was gonna
to
go?
Melbourne. I would. I've been dying to go to Australia, and it actually lines up when my wife may have a conference down there, but I don't think it's going to work out. But yeah, man, I am excited. We'll host the first game of the season next year. It should be a Thursday night game, Eagles against TBD.
September 4th.
Do we know who it's going to be yet, or is that
No, it's just
we
the
gotta wait
date
for the schedule
so
to
far.
come out?
It's probably going to be the Lions.
Yeah,
I think there's enough commentary around like, oh, if the Lions weren't injured, how good were they? Let's match them up against the Eagles. Like every other game.
The Lions are
like,
good, man. Yeah, no, I mean the Lions deserve to be like where they were. They deserve to be the number 1 seed. And we'll see.
I actually want that. I want that Lions first game.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't. Nah, I don't.
You don't?
Nah.
I want that.
I'm trying not to play them at all. But I'd rather play the Giants. How about we go with the Giants?
No, I'm with you, Dries.
That would be great.
Man, they got all new coordinators, man. I'll take that, man.
I'm
They
with you. You take him. You get him out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm with
Get
you,
it out
Dries.
early. Get it out early.
Cool. All right, Ali, send us home.
Thanks for kicking it with us. This has been episode 98. The Philadelphia Eagles are world champions for the second time in league history. I'm Ali. That's Aleks. And we're joined by 2-3 Dries. Bye-bye for now. Go Birds.
Go Bears.
Go Birds, baby.
That was awesome.
Dries, dude.